MiniWarGaming rules you got wrong.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Rules You Got Wrong, Warhammer Fantasy Edition, our weekly show where I adjust the comments in our videos for rule errors that we make, or sometimes you guys say we make. And I get relatively sarcastic in these, but don't stop posting those Rules You Got Wrong comments because they're actually fun.
That's part of the charm.
I love it. So let's go right to the first fantasy battle report. It was me and Luca with the first Dark Elf versus Lizardman battle report I've ever done.
Okay, your first comment is from the Welsh bloke. Good game. Dark Elves are my army, and they are strong and have a fantastic choice of everything. Always remember their rerolls. You missed a few. And I'm
going to say something before you go on. We're not going to read all your comments, Mr. the Welsh bloke. Just the ones we need to address. If you got a check mark, go ahead and read it. These ones here. The tactical stuff, I agree with you. We don't have to read those here.
And his Cootness says, don't forget the dark magic attribute. You forget rerolls and attributes.
Yeah, dark magic attribute is if you get doubles, you get extra hits. Fresh army, absolutely. I think we started getting them by the end of the battle report consistently. But yeah, you're right. That's a big one we missed.
4 minutes and 30 seconds. The BSB is a hero, and so can only have 50 points of magic items. The Black Amulet alone costs 60 points. Just be careful of that.
Yep, and on Luca's behalf, I apologize for him and his dirty, cheating ways.
Oh, Luca.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Shouldn't have been that way. Sorry, it won't happen again. It might happen again, but yeah, you're right.
14 minutes. I'm guessing you think Dark Riders have repeater handbows. They actually have big old repeater crossbows with 24-inch range. Later on, you say they are within 6 inches, so they are short range. This confirms my suspicion.
Yep, so you're right. I had to double check. Wrong bow. We played them as if they have the shorter bow, and they should have a longer bow, which one would have been better for them.
Skink Handlers are Initiative 4, which is the same as our very clever Dark Steeds. We lost one horse attack.
I just assumed they were Initiative 3 like most other horses, so yeah, you're right.
Don't forget that terror-causing units also cause fear. We missed a few leadership tests there, guys.
Yeah, but let's be honest, I wasn't going to fail them. But yeah, you're right.
You're playing what, Lizardman?
Lizardman.
Okay.
Cold-blooded.
Fleeing units move through impassable terrain and take dangerous terrain checks for their troubles. They pop out 1 inch if they finish their fleeing move in there. Check the moving fleeing unit section. So
you're absolutely right, and I always flee my guys around impassable terrain, forgetting that in fantasy you literally go right through it and pop right through it. I will probably make that mistake again in the future because in the battle it's always going to be instinctively just going around things. I don't know why I do that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'll try to tone that down as much as possible.
You seem like the kind of guy who just, would always go the path of least resistance.
Yeah, downhill.
40 minutes, 52 seconds. Fleeing wizards can't channel.
Yep. Got nothing to say. You're right. He's fleeing. He channeled.
55 minutes in. Steve Boy, if that's a legal charge, then I'm a monkey's uncle. More snaking around than a guy trying to find an Ekans in the park.
You, sir, are a monkey's uncle, then. Go ahead and watch that clip. So, a lot of these things I've explained last time I use my left hand to do. Before a charge is declared, while the camera's off, we say, well, what charge do you want to declare? Let's see what's legal, whatever. So that Hydra would have wheeled so far as to get past that unit that was in front of them. I can't remember what it was. Before it went forward, straight in, hits the unit, and then closes the door. It was able to wheel farther enough to get just past the unit and still make contact with the unit. That's why when I picked it up and moved it over, it was so far over the unit's left. Watch that clip again, and it's a straight line in.
Cootness.
Monkey's uncle.
12 minutes, 40 seconds. Lucas casting for Doombolt has doubles, which would have activated Dark Magic Lore attribute. So at 1340, the Skinks would have taken an additional 2d6 strength -1 armor piercing hits.
Yep, totally. Forget lore attributes. Absolutely right.
Grimus. At 2020, the Dark Riders suffer 2 casualties from the stand and shoot that should have triggered a panic check. Really happy to see some Dark Elves, such a cool army. I would recommend some Warlocks, easily one of the most versatile units of the game.
So I was prepared to be like, oh, no, sorry, dude, you're immune to panic on the charge. I was going to say that in this rules you got wrong. But what I always do is I always double check just to make sure there's something I haven't missed or forgot. And I actually did not know. I assumed or thought that models were immune to panic on the charge, just like, I'm going to turn the camera around and let you see what Chris is doing behind the camera. He's rocking out back there. Just like in 40K where Overwatch, guys, what were we talking about? Okay, so in
from the stand
40K,
and shoot.
you're immune to the panic from stuff from Overwatch, whatever. I assume it was like that in fantasy, which is definitely not. So when my
Chris, stop it.
when my Razor Dawn stood and shoot against those Dark Riders and then killed 2, they should have took a panic test and maybe fled away, or maybe they didn't. But yeah, you're right. I didn't know that. I learned something. Thank you.
When Chris wakes up from his afternoon nap, he's always full of energy.
Little
and doing
rambunctious.
things. Little fella. Next up, Kootness. 46-49. Those croc score were likely way too close for the dark shards to stand and shoot. Repeater crossbows are not quick to fire.
They were only like 15 inches too close.
Karsten Dahl.
They were way too close. Yeah, sorry, that was a brain fart.
At 45 minutes, Steve, I'm not sure that you can allocate the hits from the Hydra's Thunderstomps. I do believe it's Luca that can allocate who he hits.
So in the rule book, yeah, it is worded that way, or it is written that way. Now I have no FAQ to show you because I don't have access to the FAQ anymore. But in the last FAQ that we had for fantasy, those attacks were distributed like shooting, or are now distributed like shooting. So even though I don't have the FAQ, I can't really say I'm going by it, but I am. So thunderstomps are distributed like shooting. That's why I allocated them like that as for shooting.
Next up, John W. 90% sure that Hydras have regeneration. I might be thinking of the older Romulus, though.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Glory to the Azure. Around 11:45, you use the Cube of Darkness, but forget to roll for it. It only works on a 2-up.
Yeah, see, I thought it's like the spell scroll that like removes remains in play in a 2-up. You actually have to roll 2-up to even dispel, and then the remains in play. You have to reread that carefully, so you got me on that one.
Same fella. Okay, this is a pretty obscure rule, but at 22:19, I'm pretty sure that all the charging units would have gone in. On page 23, it says that the charge moves of the charging units must be made as far as possible to equalize the number of models fighting from each charging unit. Remember, however, that your primary goal to maximize the number of models fighting.
Blah, blah, blah. You're right. I had to actually have Cullen grab the models in and explain to me why I couldn't see this. It had a wide unit attacking one of my more narrow units and 2 Hydras as well. And I told Luca he had no way of getting all 3 of these into combat because the combat unit was too wide. They wouldn't all fit. But literally, he could have had the Hydra over here, come way over here next to this Hydra, and the unit go on this side. If you're following me, it's hard to explain if you watch the clip at that timestamp, you understand. But yeah, I was wrong. Luca could have had all of those in their charge. I think he might have failed one of the rolls. I can't remember. But yeah, he could have had them all in. No, he made them all in? Okay, so I cheated Luca on that one. That is my fault.
Same fella. Mike, that's not what I meant. Yeah, Mike. The Hydra would just move to the far side of the front, not actually the flank. Sorry about the confusion.
Oh, that was I added it in by accident. There was a whole conversation going on there. Don't worry, Mike.
You're safe this time, Mike.
This time.
Next game, Dark Elves versus Lizardmen, Warhammer Fantasy Battle Reports, Old World Wars, episode 156. The Welsh Bloke, 1643. Don't forget that Big Tasty, Malachite, has a 3-up armor save.
You're right. On the Dragon, he does. Yep, you're right.
Cold One Knight Charioteers. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Awkward
Well, the
word to
Riders, the Charioteers.
Charioteers?
They're strong elves. They're strength 4, not 3. So, yeah, they would have had...
Strength 5 in the charge?
Yeah, because of spears.
Ooh.
So, yep, didn't know that one. Or I didn't check that one. That was just lazy on my part.
2837. Malachite just failed a dispel roll and so cannot add his 4 to dispel, or since he wasn't making the dispel attempt, use the Circlet of Iron.
Yeah.
Furthermore, Circlet of Iron can only be used once per phase.
Yep, so you're right on both those. Brain Fart in the first one, and the Circle of Iron, I don't think we noticed that was once per phase, but again, first time playing this army, we're going to catch these, or you're going to catch them for us, and I appreciate it that you do.
3035. Skinks are -1 ballistic skill due to Noxious Breath. Even without the rule known, the Skinks would hit on 6s rather than 5s. Ballistic skill 3 hits on...
Noxious Breath was another -1 to hit, which I didn't actually know or didn't check that Breath Weapon had that special rule. I think he used to have that rule years ago too, so I probably should have known.
3040. Big Tasty is the only elf in the world to have toughness 4. You would wound on 5s.
Didn't even check, just assumed every elf is toughness 3. So yeah, we got 1 toughness 4 elf.
3245. Illegal stand and shoot. He was within 10 inches. This was a huge
That was
mistake.
barely legal. It was huge, actually.
Was it?
Yeah. I actually killed the dragon on Overwatch, or sorry, stand and shoot. And he was he was like 2 inches away. There's no way that's even remotely legal, but my bad. Just trying to learn a new army. Totally wrong. Which killed the dragon. Which
Can you really new army when it comes to stand and shoot?
I know. No, what I'm trying to say is, I made more mistakes by glossing over some of the things because I was more focused. No excuse. You're right. That dragon should be alive, and Luca probably would have won that. Maybe he did win that game. Luca probably we definitely would have done way better if I didn't cheat right there.
40-35. Doombolt is a magic missile, and so cannot be cast while the wizard is in combat.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're right.
41-40. Not sure why only 2 skinks were in base contact. Should have been 3. Remember to close ranks when skirmishers are in combat.
Again, I'm being a little fast, just pulling the model, whichever my hand's closest to, which means another model should have been still in base contact. But yep. Yeah.
I haven't got a timestamp, but Malekith would not be able to flee as a charge reaction since he is immune to psychology.
Yeah, at that point we're just goofing around, but yeah, you're right.
Okay, next comment.
Oh, read the end of it so everybody knows that Welsh Wolk is one of the super helpful guys. He went on to say that he's just trying to be helpful, and he is. And I'm super appreciative of what you do, dude. So yeah,
it's still very much enjoyable.
You don't need to add that, but
realize mistakes pointed
you're
out.
great.
First time playing Dark Elves. Doesn't for me detract from the entertainment value.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. You don't need to add that extra stuff. I appreciate the help you do.
Especially when Luca shouts that you're a coward.
Well, I am. That's how I fight all my armies. We got any more?
We've got 2 more here. Relgarwiz?
Garwiz.
Don't single characters on foot have a 360-degree charge arc?
Nope,
so
not
should
anymore.
Luca have been able to charge that old blood?
No, that's an old thing. Not anymore.
At 45-11, you allocated wounds incorrectly. The method was correct for shooting, but a thunderstomp is not shooting. Luca would have been able to decide if stomping the unit of the character.
I only add this one in again because there's more comments that were replying to that one in the whole thing. He's still playing around. He's playing he's flicking coins on the table. I'm trying to focus here. It's not a shooting attack. It is a thunderstomp attack. It is a combat attack that is allocated, or more precisely distributed, as if they're shooting attacks. That's why I chose where the hits were going, and that's why every model has to take 2 hits before somebody can take 3, and so on. That's all, dude. FAQ, kind of a rat at that, I guess. That's it for rules we got wrong this week. Big hit for us this time, new army, and probably spend too much time. That's it. I gotta turn this off, and I gotta go slap Chris. So thanks for watching, and happy wargaming.